Good morning, everyone. Before we start, let us pray first. For those who are Catholic, please make sign of the cross in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good morning once again, my dear students. How's your feeling for today? Okay, glad to hear that. So, are you ready to learn something for today's discussion? Okay, if that's so, let's proceed. So, who among you here can recall in our previous lesson? Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Feline, me? Yes, exactly. Our topic in last meeting was all about sentence. Okay, class, do you have any questions or clarifications about our last meeting? Okay, since none, let's proceed. At this moment, we have a game. So, do you want to play a game, class? Okay, that's good. Okay, class, at this moment, we were going to play a squid game. Are you familiar with this game, class? Okay, I know that all of us are familiar with this game. Okay class, welcome to Squid Game. The mechanics of this game is you're just going to select your favorite number from 1 up to 20 since you are all 20 here. So if ever the number you choose will flash on the screen, that means that you will be the one to play in our Squid Game. Is that clear class? Okay. So now let us know what is the number of our player. So we have player number 1. Let us find out who is the player number 1. Okay, alright. Our player number 1 is Master Ray Rodriguez. Okay, Master Rodriguez, are you ready to play the game? Okay. But before that, kindly face in the camera and smile. Thank you. Now let the games begin. So in the Squid Game, we have 4 game levels. The first one is game 1, which is the red light and green light. The game 2, honeycomb shape gazing. The game 3 is marble game, and the game 4 is crossing the bridge. So you're going to choose among the 4 game levels. Okay, alright, you choose the game 1, which is the red light and green light. So game level 1, the red light and green light. In this game, you're just going to select your answer between in the red light and green light. Are you ready? So here's your question. It refers to the span of time prior to the introduction of European colonialism in Accra. So what's your answer? Just choose between in the green light and the red light. In the green light, the answer is pre-colonial, and the red light is postmodernism. So what is your answer? Okay, you choose the green light, which is the answer is pre-colonial. Now let's find out if your answer is correct. Okay, very good. You get the correct answer. Pre-colonial, it refers to the span of time prior to the introduction of European colonialism in areas across the world. So congratulations, Mr. Player number 1, you got the correct answer. Now let's proceed to the second game. Okay, still let's find out what is the number of our player. So we have player number 21. So who is the player number 21? So now let us know. Okay, alright. Our player number 1, we have Mr. Losai. Mr. Losai, are you ready to play the game? Okay, that's good. But before that, kindly face in the camera and smile. Okay, thank you. So just choose in the 4 game levels. Okay, you choose the game 2, which is the honeycomb shape gazing. So in this game, which is the game level 2, honeycomb shape gazing, you're just going to guess which is the answer between in the honeycomb shape. Okay, here's your question. Which flag of the world symbolizes Philippine flag? Again, which flag of the world symbolizes Philippine flag? So, which among of the shape the answer? Okay, you choose the triangle. Let's find out if your answer is correct. Okay, you're right. You got the correct answer, which is the Philippine flag. Now let us know what is inside in the umbrella shape. Okay, eliminated. How about in the star shape? Okay, still eliminated. How about in the circle? Still eliminated. So you got the correct answer. You got the correct answer, which is the Philippine flag. So let's proceed to the last game. And let us know what is the number of our player. Okay, we have player number 15 and let us find out who is the player number 15. Okay, alright, we have Mr. Rachel Bakar. You will be the one to play in our Squid Game. But before that, kindly face in the camera and smile. Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Player, kindly choose among the four in the game levels. Okay, you choose the game 4, which is the crossing the bridge. Game level 4, crossing the bridge. Okay, in this game, in 10 seconds, you're just going to arrange the scrambled word. So, in that words, what word you form? Okay, you form literature. Let's find out if your answer is correct so that you can pass the game. Literature. Le. And let's proceed to T. And let's proceed to Ray. Okay, and Chor. Okay, congratulations, you passed the game. Congratulations to all players, you won 45.6 billion of knowledge. From the activity we have done, what you can guess that would be our topic for today? Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Arsalan. Okay, let's find out if it is that our topic for today. So our topic for today is all about pre-colonial Philippine literature. So for today, we were going to discuss about the pre-colonial Philippine literature, or we were going to discuss what is the status of our Philippine literature during in the pre-colonial era or during in the pre-colonial period. But before that, let us know first what is the definition of pre-colonial period. So now, let us know what is the pre-colonial period. Pre-colonial period broadly refers to the span of time prior to the introduction of European colonialism in areas across the world. Go through further in our topic, let us know first what is our learning objectives. First, at the end of the class, the students will be able to first define the pre-colonial Philippine literature, influence the culture, history, and environment. The second one is name the pre-colonial Philippine literature discussed by the teachers, and last is make a concept map of the pre-colonial Philippine literature connecting to a significant past. Okay, class, are these objectives are attainable? Okay, if that's so, now let's proceed. So at this moment, we were going to have a group activity, what we called a graphic organizer. So I will divide you into 4 groups according to your last name. So those students who had start the last name from A to Z is the group 1, and the H from N is the group 2, and the O from Q is the group 3, and the R from Z is the group 4. Is that clear, class? Okay, in our graphic organizer, we have three columns. The first is key, stand for know, what you know, and the second one is want to know, W, what you want to know, and the last is learn, L, what you want to learn. So just select a representative to discuss what you have shared or thoughts in your individual from your group. So I will just give you 15 seconds to finish that activity. Okay, class, are you done? Okay, thank you so much everyone. So now let's proceed. Okay, there is a question that what is Philippine literature during the pre-colonial period? So who wants to share or give your ideas and thoughts regarding this question? Anyone from the class? Oh yes, Mr. Patatang. Okay, what a nice idea, Mr. Patatang. Thank you so much. So now let us know what is Philippine literature during the pre-colonial period. The stage of that prehistory show how early Filipinos grow in control over their environment. Through researchers and writings about prehistory, much can be reliable inferred about pre-colonial Philippine literature from analysis of collected oral lore of Filipinos whose ancestors were able to preserve their indigenous culture by living beyond the reach of Spanish colonial administrators. So, who among you here can define the pre-colonial period, which as the Philippine literature influenced by culture, history, and environment? Anyone from the group? Yes, yes, Miss Charmin Gaan. Okay, what a nice idea, Miss Gaan. Thank you. So now, at this moment, we were going to discuss about the literary forms or the Philippine literary forms, which are the riddles, proverbs, and folklore. So now let us discuss first about the riddles or bugtong in Tagalog. Riddles, it began before the Spanish came on the Philippine shores. It was used as a form of entertainment for the Filipino, and they would even gather in the dead of night and share their own bugtongs and take turns answering. The bugtong was born as tales that the old and wise used as a poetic and endearing form to tell the youth. So, riddles, the purpose of riddles is to entertain, to educate, and to give enjoyment or happiness or having fun with your peers or with your fellow men. So it was used as a form of entertainment of for the Filipino. Riddles, also known as bugtong. It consists of two-liner statement. It is either phrases or questions that has a double or hidden meaning. The description may seem straightforward, but sometimes you need to take outside of the box to solve them. Just like for example, isang prinsesa punong-puno ng mata. Who wants to answer? Yes, Miss Buntong? Now let's find out if you got the correct answer. Okay, the correct answer is pinya. Isang prinsesa punong-puno ng mata. The answer is pinya. How about this? Dalawang batong maitim, malayo ang dinarating. Yes, Mr. Losay? Now let's find out if your answer is correct. Okay, you got the correct answer. The answer of dalawang batong maitim, malayo ang dinarating is mata. Okay, class, did you understand about the riddles? Okay, do you have any questions or clarifications about the riddles? Okay, since none, let's proceed. So now let's proceed to the proverbs. Proverbs are called salawikain or sawikain in Tagalog or sarsarita in Ilocano. Like most proverbs the world over, Philippine proverbs contain sayings which prescribes norms, imparts a lesson or simply reflects standard norms, traditions, and beliefs in the community. According to Professor Damiana Eugenio, he classifies Philippine proverbs into 6 groups according to subject matter. Filipino proverb or Philippine proverb are traditional sayings or maxim used by Filipinos, which is based on the local cultures, wisdom, and philosophies from Filipino life. So, according to Professor Damiana Eugenio, he classified Filipino proverbs into 6 groups according to subject matter. So, now let us discuss what are the 6 groups, what are the 6 proverbs groups. The first one is proverbs expressing a general attitude towards life and the laws that govern life. General attitude is a reflection. Our attitudes in life determines life attitude to us. This simply means that we shape in our own lives. Successful people have a good attitude toward themselves. They expect to more succeed rather than they failed. Without a doubt, your attitude determines how far you get in life. That means in the Proverbs 1. Now let's proceed to the Proverbs 2. Ethical proverbs recommending certain virtues and condemning certain vices. Ethical proverbs are short, simple saying that offer advice on how a person can behave ethically or according to honorable codes of conduct. Proverbs offer general truths, and ethical proverbs make listener or readers think about right versus wrong. So that means in the Proverbs 2. Now let's proceed to the Proverbs 3, which is proverbs expressing a system of values. That means a system of established of norms, values, or goals existing in a society. So now let's proceed to the Proverbs 4. 4. Proverbs expressing a general truths and observation about life and human nature. Proverb is a simple and concrete saying that usually has been passed down for generations. Proverbs are particular to a certain cultures and they usually express knowledge that is based on the common sense or what we call experience. So that's all about the Proverbs 4. Now let's proceed to the Proverbs 5, which is humorous proverbs. Means proverb is short and simple sayings that state general of truths, offering pearl of wisdom, and many proverbs are frequently heard, spoken, and known. Proverbs often offer a folk of wisdom and wit. And the last of proverbs is miscellaneous. Miscellaneous proverb means a proverb is that do not fall strictly in any specific category such as numerous and ethical. So those are the 6 category proverbs. So like for example, matibay ang walis palibhasay magkabigkis. That means people gain strength by standing together. For example number 2, mahirap gisingin ang nagtulog-tulugan. That means it is easy to tell people something they do not know, and it is much harder if they are willfully choosing not to say what. It is easy to tell people something they do not know, and it is much harder if they are willing to choose not to say what is before them. The last is bagong hari, bagong ugali. The new leadership is the new of beginning. That's all about the proverbs. So, let's proceed to the folklore. According to Dr. Damiana Eugenio, a renewed Filipina folklorist, says there is still no universally accepted definition of the word folklore. But any band of knowledge handed down from the generation to generation which describes or depicts the beliefs and lifestyle of the ancestors of a chosen ethnic group, as rendered unique to that group and is respected as follows. Folklore is the expressive body of culture shared by the particular group people. It encompasses tradition common to culture, subculture, or group. Folklore is usually transmitted by word of mouth. Oral traditions are very common among the indigenous tribes still existent in the Philippines. So there are five kinds of folklore. Now let us discuss those five. First is myths and legends, fables, tables of the supernatural, heroic tales, and tales of laughter. Now let us discuss first the myths and legends. Myths are tales involving the gods of old. They may deal with a conflict among the gods themselves, or ways in which the gods would reveal themselves as unique characters unto the lowly creatures of the earth, including, of course, the man. Legends. Legends of creation usually involve spirits or gods, or just an omnipotent god. At any rate, almost every legend involves a miracle or curse invoked in the name or by the hand of a higher power. In common usage, the word legend usually characterizes a tale, a traditional tale thought to have a historical basis. So now let's proceed to the fables. Fables are short narratives that revolve around particular moral lessons. In a fables, the character there are animals, which as animals represent as a human, which is in that story or in that fables there is a moral lesson for us. It is a related or reflect as a human lives or a human behavior. Next, let's proceed to the tales of the supernatural. Tales of the supernatural involves the fair folk, dwarves, mermaids, demons, strange beasts, and other phenomena. So in the tales of the supernatural, it is the story or it is the literature which has the character are the dwarves, mermaids, demons, strange beasts, and other phenomena or other supernatural being. So now let's proceed to the heroic tales. Heroes adventure and gather the fruits of their labor and faith. These tales have inspired the Filipinos to aspire for the greatest since the dawn of time. So when we say or when we heard heroic, so it means the character are the heroes. So just like for example in the story or the heroic tales are Biag de Lam-a, which is Lam-a is the hero of that story. The next is tales of laughter. Tales of laughter insists on having a separate category. Moral lessons are sometimes scattered about, though most of the time, stories in this area had been created and are handed down for the sole purpose of having fun. So tales of laughter from the word laughter. So it means to have fun. So the purpose of tales of laughter is though it is created to have fun, but at the same time it has a moral lesson for everyone or to those people who will watch or who will read that story or that tales of laughter. Okay, I guess that would be all about our discussion. So now let's proceed to the group activity. But before we proceed to our group activity, let us have a recall first or a recap first. So what are the Philippine literature in the period of pre-colonial? Or what those are the literary forms Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Eileen Nara. Okay, thank you. The Philippine literary forms are: first is riddles, proverbs, and fables. So those are the literary forms in the Philippine literature. So now let's have a group activity. So since you have a group now, so the same group activity. So all the things you want to do is make a concept map of the pre-colonial Philippine literature connecting to a significant past. So after you shared your ideas or thoughts in your group mates, select a representative. I know. Yes, just select a representative to send to me your output or your concept map, and I give you a 1 minute to finish that group activity. Is that clear, class? Okay, are you done, class? Okay, thank you, class. Before we proceed into evaluation, do you have any questions or clarifications about our topic or about in pre-colonial Philippine literature? Okay, since none, let's proceed to the evaluation. So in my evaluation, I have a two category. The first one is identification and the second one is essay. So your output is just sent to my messenger. I just give you a minute to finish that assessment. Is that clear, class? Okay, class, are you done? Okay, very good. Now let's proceed to enrichment or assignment. Your assignment is: choose one of the pre-colonial Philippine literature and create an example on this. Just like for example, you choose a bugtong. So your example is a princess with many eyes. The answer is Pinya. So that's your assignment, class. Is that clear, class? Okay, your output will send to my messenger. Did you get my point, class? Okay. Okay, that would be all for our discussion for today, and dismiss, and thank you and have a good day.